Okay, let's do some myth busting. Millionaire habits. What does it take to be successful? I'm gonna start. My favorite myth to bust is that wealthy people wake up early at 4:30, 5:30 in the morning. That's a lie. I'm drinking coffee. It's 9:30 p.m. and I do just fine. So we're gonna talk about the other things that you think wealthy people do and what they've done to become wealthy. They all have something in common though. And as culture keeps changing rapidly because of technology and globalization, what it takes changes, but the one thing that they all have in common will always be the same. So let's break it down. Let's plan for the future. Let's talk about what it actually takes and what habits you should have to become wealthy. My name's Sean Rocky Geach. This is Airbnb Automated, and let's jump right in. All right, welcome back, Airbnb family. Cheers. As always, late night coffee. Well, the reason why I stay up late, first off, is because I'm a creative, and I know you have friends who are. You might be one yourself. And I do some of my best work at night. So let's address the early to bed, early to rise makes a man or woman healthy, wealthy, and wise. That comes from a time in our past where people had to work in factories or on sales floors, or the stock market exchange was all done in person still, and they had to work with and through other people to make their fortunes. That is less the case now, isn't it? One of my favorite books is called Rework. It talks about how business plans may not even be necessary anymore because the way people do business is completely different. The way that you amass resources and attack the market has changed. You can have a team where I'm in Dallas, somebody else is in Denver, somebody's in Boston, somebody's in Istanbul, and we can run a business across the globe with like a team of 4 or 5 people. You don't have to have an office. You don't have to be on the same, in the same time zone. Everything's changed. So what is the truth in that phrase? It's not that people woke up early, because back then waking up early is what allowed you to become more prepared for the day. You read your newspaper, you had coffee, you kind of got your zen on, and then you went out and you went to war. What they had is they had a plan for their day. So for example, I don't have an alarm on my phone. I wake up whenever my body tells me to wake up, because one of the things that I believe is a key to my success is managing my stress and listening to my body. I own multiple businesses, and with the amount of stress I like to put myself under, if I burned myself out, that would be bad news. So to avoid burnout, I sleep in to whenever my body says I wake up at. That's number one. But I plan my days around my worst case scenario. I normally wake up between 8:30 and 9:30. So I plan to be up by 9:30 any day. And my body just naturally wakes up somewhere between 8:30 and 9:30. But what I have is a plan. As soon as I wake up, I hit the ground running, and I'm doing business. And that is what you can take from that phrase, is have a plan for your day and get ahead of your plan. A failure to plan is a plan to fail, isn't it? So wake up whenever you want to wake up, but make sure that once you wake up, you've made it worth it. Do not waste your day. Do something real with your time. That's what you can take away from that phrase. And you can work all night, you can work all day, you can work whatever calendar or clock you want to, as long as you're effective and you're moving the needle, all right? So let's look at some other things. What do people who are wealthy do that people who aren't don't? Well, the biggest disparity between people who've achieved wealth and people in poverty is that the top 1%ers in the world, they read, 83% of them read at least a half an hour a day. And 99% of people in poverty do not read a half an hour a day. That's huge. So self-education, reading a book a half an hour a day, is the one thing you should do immediately if you want to jump that gap. Other things, people who are successful focus on physical activity. They try to work out every day if they can. They practice self-regulation. They try not to let their emotions put them in too volatile of a state. They try to manage their stress level. They try to eat whole meals and avoid like processed foods. There's things like that. They make sure to spend time with family. These are things that they have ahead of time made rules about. And so what are all these things sharing? What's in common here? Because your habits are going to change as you adapt and as you go through the future. I cannot tell you exactly what it's going to take in the year 2035. I don't know what habits that I will need in order for me to be successful in that decade. But I can tell you what's in common with all habits that anybody develops in order to become successful is it's discipline. That's the one thing you need to think about, is where are you exercising discipline in your life? Now, everybody knows that if you work out on a regular basis, your body handles stress better. That's one thing. Everybody knows that if you eat healthy foods, your body operates better. You have a lower body fat percentage and all these extra things, better cholesterol. So eat junk, feel like junk. Don't work out, you're gonna feel like junk. Don't manage your stress level. You're going to burn out. Don't spend time with family. It can increase your risk of depression. If you don't drink coffee, it could increase your risk of depression. And if you don't like this video, it could increase your risk of depression. So like and subscribe. Thank you. With that said though, discipline is the key. And if anybody tells you that there is this ABC cookie cutter way to get successful, it's typically not the case. And the reason why this channel, even though this channel is about Airbnb, you haven't even heard the word until now, right? This channel is about how to build a 6 or 7 figure Airbnb business, but it's not just that simple. I started this channel for like over the last 2 years, teaching you how to fold towels, what beds to put inside of your bedrooms, how to reinforce the frame so people didn't break the beds, and all this other stuff, how to manage your calendar and pricing strategy. Those are technical, those are procedural things that we need to cover in order to build an Airbnb business, but there's so much more to being successful, isn't there? You have to be the right person. You have to be willing to do the work. You have to develop yourself as a leader, as a business person, as a manager, as a worker. If you could I could give you a course for free, right? I can give you $5,000-$10,000 worth of educational material that is all procedural, like, you know, find this property, put this stuff in it, and you can follow it by the book. But if you're not the right person, somebody else with half the plan and twice the drive is going to just lap you. So that's why this stuff matters. So stay tuned for more content like this. We're going to continue to deliver, of course, Airbnb content, but I want to highly encourage you to understand that it's not just how much you should price your listing for or how to manage orphan days. That's not what's going to make you successful as an entrepreneur. It is how to build your brain to go to war every day to achieve what it is that you want out of life. So you can take that to the bank. Thank you for watching Airbnb Automated, and I'll see you on the other side.